What's up everybody, Damon here, and in today's gaming news, the Nintendo Switch 2 continues to be a huge hit, but the company seems increasingly likely to lose its patent lawsuit against Palworld. This is your daily fix. Nintendo Switch 2 has sold an astonishing 10.4 million units, a record-breaking amount that sees the platform continue its run as the biggest console launch ever. In its latest financial results, Nintendo raised its hardware forecast for the year in response to the Switch 2's spectacular performance. It now expects to move 19 million units of its new console before the end of March 2026. To put Switch 2's success into perspective, Nintendo has doubled the launch sales of Switch 1, which sold 4.7 million units in its first 6 months back in 2017, and is also well ahead of the PlayStation 5's own impressive arrival, which sold 7.8 million units back in November 2020, though was limited by stock availability. Mario Kart World, the Switch 2's flagship launch game, has now sold 9.6 million copies, with 8.1 million of that total from the console's bundle. So yes, more than 1 million people paid $80 to buy it separately. Nintendo's second biggest Switch 2 title, Donkey Kong Bonanza, has notched up 3.5 million sales since its July debut. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, meanwhile, has sold 1.2 million. Note that Pokémon Legends ZA arrived too recently to be included. Interestingly, sales of Switch 1 game Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continue to remain strong, with another 1.4 million units sold over the last 6 months. The original Switch now stands at 154 million units, meaning it is this close to overtaking Nintendo's current best-selling device, the DS. But can the aging console shift another 6 million units to finally dethrone the best-selling console ever, the PlayStation 2? Nintendo says it expects Switch 1 to have reached a lifetime total of 156 million by the end of March 2026, so it will come close. Moving on, the director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office has ordered a re-examination of Nintendo's controversial Summon Character and Let It Fight Pokémon patent. In September, IP lawyers criticized the USPTO after Nintendo was awarded a Pokémon patent that revolves around summoning a character and letting it fight. GamesFrey reported that patent number 12,403,397, dubbed the 397 patent, was granted by the USPTO without any objection to Nintendo, which is embroiled in ongoing litigation with Pocketpair's Palworld. While the patent sums up how Pokemon games work in that you summon Pokemon to battle other Pokemon in the hope of adding them to your collection, there are countless other games that use similar mechanics, such as Persona, Digimon, and even Elden Ring, depending upon how the patent is interpreted. IP expert Florian Mueller says Nintendo should never have received a Summon Character and Let It Fight patent in the first place, while video game patent lawyer Kirk Sigmund told PC Gamer these claims were in no way allowable. Now, GamesFrey has reported that John A. Squires, who became director of the USPTO in September, has personally ordered a re-examination after he, quote, determined that substantial new questions of patentability have arisen. In his order, Squires pointed to 2 US patent applications, one filed by Konami in 2002, the other by Nintendo itself in 2019 as prior art references. Both, Squires said, would be important in deciding whether the claims are patentable. While this re-examination isn't a revocation order, Florian Mueller insists it is now highly likely that the USPTO will revoke Nintendo's 397 patent. Nintendo has 2 months to respond. This is the latest legal blow for Nintendo in its battle against Palworld. Last month, one of the Nintendo patents related to monster capture filed last year was rejected by the Japan Patent Office for lacking originality. Pocketpair has made changes to Palworld's disputed mechanics. The November 2024 patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing Pokeball-like Pal Spheres. Now pals just materialize next to you when summoned. So what happens next? Mueller said there may not be any further developments this calendar year relating to Nintendo's lawsuit against Pocketpair or patents that are related to it, but decisions are expected next year. It is ever more likely that Nintendo will lose, Mueller said. And finally today, Microsoft has announced the Xbox Game Pass November Wave 1 lineup of games, headlined by Call of Duty Black Ops 7. As a Microsoft-owned game, Black Ops 7 launches straight into Game Pass day 1 on November 14th. That's for Ultimate and PC subscribers only. But there are a number of games hitting Game Pass before Treyarch and Raven's first-person shooter arrives. On November 5th, Dead Static Drive arrives on Ultimate and PC as another day 1 release. It's an indie survival horror game about a nightmarish road trip across 1980s America. Also on November 5th is Rebellion's Sniper Elite Resistance. The shooter's full campaign can be played in co-op. On November 6th, Egging On hits Ultimate and PC as a day 1 launch. The day 1 launches continue with Whiskerwood, also on November 6th. November 7th sees Void Train launch across Ultimate, PC, and Premium. November 11th sees Great God Grove, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, and Pigeon Simulator. November 12th welcomes Relic Hunter's Legend and the day 1 release of Winter Burrow. And of course, Wave 1 ends with the big one, Black Ops 7 on November 14th. Note that today is the day the price of Game Pass Ultimate increases by 50% for current subscribers. And that's your daily fix for Tuesday, November 4th. Looking for something new to play and a way to give back? Head over to Humble and grab 8 amazing games for just $14.99, including Total War, Warhammer 3, Another Crab's Treasure, No More Heroes 3, Etrian Odyssey HD, Pharaoh A New Age, Synergy, Spin Hero, and Paleo Pines. Every purchase supports No Kid Hungry, a nonprofit that provides meals to students in need across the US. Build your library, make an impact, and help end childhood hunger. Head on over to humblebundle.com and start playing today. I'm Damon Hatfield, and for all your video game news, stay tuned to IGN.